Happy Wednesday, everybody. Mike with you. Make sure if you could subscribe to my channel here. I like the overlap that we're getting people from my podcasts on here. On YouTube, that is, at Red Sox Now. That's presented by FanArch, but I have this my personal account, which I think we're going to try to do a live show at some point. I think maybe near the playoffs. Hopefully the Red Sox are in, as now we have to really scoreboard watch. But I'd love to do that. And some things planned for football, for fantasy, as we get deeper down the road. The more support, the better, and we'll do fun things. Offensively, for the Red Sox last night, it was a challenge, as we know. They have really struggled with runners in scoring position. I mean, I think a lot of that is some of your personnel and some of your guys that are really struggling. Rafael is now below 240, but also Alex Bregman, since about the third week, since August 27th, he's about 165. So you need him. This is the time. Bases loaded, nobody out last night. You couldn't get a run in. I thought Connolly early was absolutely fantastic. You can debate the move. I understand that. I would have liked to see him stay in a little bit longer, but you scored one run. That's the bottom line. To expect to win 1-0, a tall task. Maybe you could certainly question, should we see Matz there instead of Weissert? Maybe Slayton instead? I don't know. Weissert is putting all the blame on him, but I don't. I put 10% on it. Again, one run, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, bases loaded, nobody out, and you couldn't come through. But to Connolly early, he looks the part. He really does. The Red Sox postgame notes had a couple of these unbelievable nuggets on him. Early's 18 strikeouts are tied for the most in Red Sox history through a pitcher's first two starts. Don Ossie had that many in 1977. 20th MLB player since '01 to have 18 Ks through two career starts. The last was Paul Skeens. Makes sense. Last year. But listen to this. Early is the first pitcher since 1893 to toss at least 10 innings with 18 strikeouts, 1 or 0 walks, and 1 or 0 runs allowed combined over their first two career appearances. That's Elias. 1893. I think if you black and white his photo, does he look like a Jesse James, like someone from that time? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of that time period. Allowing 1 or 0 runs over at least 5 innings in both of his first two career starts. 12th Red Sox pitcher to do it. Richard Fitz did it last year. How about that? Trevor Story, 30 for 30 stolen base attempts in the expansion era since 1961. 4th player to do that. Joining Trey Turner a couple of years ago, Carl Crawford in 09, and Vince Coleman in 1989. And Story is hitting .295, by the way, since June 1st with 17 homers and 68 RBIs. But the Red Sox need help. They do have a 2.5 game lead over Cleveland, but they own the head-to-head. But now is the time. I mean, obviously just winning takes care of everything, but Texas losing helps. Now they're further behind you, 3.5. But you need Detroit to kind of help out here, especially if you can't win this series. Now is the time that you are rooting for these teams to help out. It is pretty remarkable in both leagues that all of a sudden Cleveland and Arizona has won 4 in a row. They've leapfrogged the Giants and Cincinnati. Looks like the Giants' run is about over. And Arizona is a game and a half behind the Mets. The tiebreaker is head-to-head first. That season series is tied. It goes to division record, which how you play in your division. Arizona is 25-20 against the West. The Mets are not as good in their division. So the Diamondbacks are a legit 1.5 out, 2 in the loss column, because they can tie the Mets and ultimately get that last spot. Can you imagine if Arizona and Cleveland knocked off the two big market teams? We don't want to see that. And then it would be serendipity if the Red Sox and Mets ended up in the World Series. All right, enjoy your Wednesday. I'll be with the Woo Sox tonight on TV. Make sure to, if you can, hop on and watch that in SM+, and we'll talk to you again on Thursday. Thanks for watching. 5-minute update here with Mike on YouTube.